Hello collectors and welcome to another review. This time I'm taking a look at NECA's Striker Eureka from Pacific Rim Series 2. This Mark V Jaeger is finally in action figure form, so let's see whether or not it can hold up to its movie counterpart. So let's kick this review off right and talk about the Sculpt. As many of you know, NECA has access to the actual digital files for the various creations in the movie. So to the best of their ability, these puppies are replicas of what we saw on the screen, based on those digital files. You can see all the little detailing here on the chest, on the legs, all the little knobs and whatnot. You can see on the back, little boosters there. Striker Eureka looks fantastic. For the paint, there is no paint slop on mine. Let's look at some of the details here. As you can see on the head on Striker Eureka, the visor area, there is gold paint, and it looks amazing. As you can see, there's no slop. And on the head, the top, there is this nice wash that covers in some of the panel lining there. That's pretty sweet. You can see on the chest, the digits there. They're nice and clean and crisp. And unlike the other Jaegers, I think Striker Eureka's weathering effect on him actually looks pretty good. The only sort of paint slop I would say there is on Striker would be these blue little, I'm not sure what you would call them, on the arms. It doesn't look entirely too uniform, and in person, kind of looks like there's more on one side than the other. Same for this one here. And then the fists of Striker, to me, look like they could have been done a little bit better, but it's fine. For the price point, really, it's forgivable. So for the sculpt and paint on Striker Eureka, there's basically no problems. I really like it. It's very, very nice. I am pleased to say that the articulation on Striker Eureka is almost so close to being amazing and perfect. Let's take a look at it. Head. I believe it could be on a ball joint, but I can only get it to act like a swivel. As you can see here, you got to put a little bit of force behind it to get it to the extremes. But, yeah. Basically works like a swivel, could be on a ball joint. So, the arms. A lot of people have been saying it's just like Gypsy Danger. These people really don't know what a joint is. So, Striker has a, well, let's do it from the front first. Has a swivel, and a hinge, and another hinge. That's right, I'll get in close. You can see there are two hinge joints here. There's a swivel at the base of the shoulder, and this section of the arm is on a swivel, and the arm, hinge, and the arm itself is on a hinge, connected to these shoulder pads. So, needless to say, you can get the arms to go straight out, unlike Gypsy Danger. Big improvement there. Only downside is that the right arm on my Striker Eureka is a little loose, and as you can see here, maybe, you see a little paint scuff here. This arm was actually stuck like that. Guess paint dried or something. Anyway, elbows are on a hinge. I'd say maybe that's about 90 degrees exactly. The hands are on a hinge. And the blades for Striker Eureka are on swivels. Only thing that I would fix for the arms would be a swivel up here somewhere, and a swivel joint for the hands, the fists. Other than that, arms are sweet. Torso. It is on a ball joint. You can get it to turn side to side, but that's about it. Not too much leaning forward or back, which is a bit disappointing. Kind of off-center there. The legs of Striker Eureka are similar to Gypsy Danger in that they are attached to the hips at the thighs on a swivel hinge combo, as you come to expect. And the knees are on a hinge joint. Mine are a little loose, but nothing a little bit of modification can fix. And the feet are on ball joints. Kind of restricted, but it's okay. It's not horrible. You can get a lot of poses out of it. This table is very smooth, so if I put Striker in a cool pose here, it'll just eventually slip, 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 and then Striker will do that. So I'm not going to. So overall, aside from a few modifications that should have been done to the initial sculpt, the articulation on Striker, I love it. Just a few tweaks to make it perfect, but aside from that, mwah, great. One of the draws of Pacific Rim is that we get to see these giant robots take on these humongous fantasy monsters. And chances are, if you're collecting the Pacific Rim figures from NECA, you're going to want to put these Jaegers up against kaiju. So let's take a look at one of the most famous monsters of them all. And here's the 6-inch Godzilla figure, the SH Monster Arts Godzilla. And as you can see, Godzilla is a little bit small. Most 6-inch Godzilla figures are, so unfortunately it's not a perfect matchup. However, if you're looking for something a little bit larger, there are options such as the SH Monster Arts Destroya. And that definitely looks like it will give Striker Eureka a little bit of a fight there. So as you also may be aware, NECA has indeed released some kaiju in the Pacific Rim line. And for reference, here is Knifehead. Unfortunately, as we know, he is a bit undersized, so that's not too perfect. But it's nice to have. They have also released a rather large kaiju. Leatherback. Yes, that is definitely a good matchup. That is a nice fight to have on your shelf. So, also, Striker Eureka is not the only Jaeger, and NECA has indeed released a few other Jaegers to go alongside this particular one. So, here is Crimson Typhoon. Have him kind of squatting for balance purposes. And as you can see, that is a pretty nice matchup. You can have a nice hanger, or you make your own Shatter Dome somewhere in your collection. And what Shatter Dome would be complete without Gypsy Danger? Here is Series 1 Gypsy. And then just for reference, here is Series 2 Battle Damaged Gypsy Danger. So if you're looking for a companion to go along with Striker Eureka, no need to worry. There are some that work out there, and there are some that they could be a little bit better. But still, Striker Eureka fits into pretty much any collection where there are giant monsters or robots. So, should you wait to get this used? Wait to get it cheap? Should you buy it now? I'd say go ahead and get it now. Striker Eureka is really impressive for the price point. I kept hearing things like, oh, it's Gypsy Danger retooled, the articulation is horrible, the sculpt is bad, there's paint slop everywhere. Really? My Striker Eureka is basically perfect for what it is. There are a few issues that I have overall with the articulation. There should be some swivels, I think, here, maybe one here on the leg or something. Better ankles, but realistically speaking, for the price point and what I was expecting, Striker Eureka really, really did blow me away. I was just expecting this clunky mess that couldn't do anything, but I am very pleased with what I got. And you know, I do this and some of the joints are loose, but that's okay. It's an easy fix. It's no big deal. So if you're looking to pick up what I would consider to be the ultimate Jaeger figure, go ahead and do it. Don't delay. You really don't want this thing hitting $50 before you end up getting even a chance to get it. So contact your comic book stores, go into Toys R Us, search everywhere online, Big Bad Toy Store, wherever you can, and if you're thinking about getting it, just go ahead and do it, because look what happened to Series 1. So far, I would have to say that Striker Eureka is probably my favorite Pacific Rim figure so far.